Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. Guys, today on our Barcelona news roundup, we're going to be talking about Gabriel Moscardo, a young Brazilian talent. We did talk yesterday about Barcelona's pursuit for a new pivot in January, and then we're going to continue this discussion. Then we're going to be talking about Frankie de Jong. He is set to renew, and then we'll be looking at his contract a little bit, and then we'll be talking about Lamine Yamal. The kid has been doing some incredible things, which we will be talking about. But guys, before we get started on the news roundup, make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. We're on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Twitch. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms to stay up to date. But guys, let's get started. Let's talk about the Barcelona news of today. Exclusive. Deco has sealed an agreement with Gabriel Moscardo's camp. The player prefers Barcelona over any other team interested, including Chelsea. If signed, he will be switched between the subsidiary team and the first team. Total financial package will be worth over 20 million euros, including commissions. Formulas will be studied in the next months on how to spend the club's budget in the winter market before sending an offer for the 17-year-old Brazilian pivot. There are other areas to cover as well, so an agreement doesn't mean that a bid is guaranteed. There are other priorities before Mocardo who are preferred by the coaching staff. Now, guys, I actually posted on my Twitter a 5 minute compilation of his game, basically of his highlights. And looking at it, I really liked his game. He reminds me of Declan Rice. Actually, he isn't Busquets, who is like an on the ball specialist. He reminds me of Declan Rice, someone who's an engine in that midfield. He does have good technical abilities, and one of his preferred skills that I saw was actually like a roulette turn, which was very, very impressive. But as I mentioned, this is another option that Barcelona are looking to reinforce that pivot position. Um, 20 million euros. I don't know if Barcelona would want to spend that much. I would maybe be trying to bring that price a little bit down because we do have to remember this guy is still only 17. But he is a gem and we don't want to lose him. And as I mentioned before, Deco is in love with Gabriel Moscardo, a 17-year-old defensive midfielder from Corinthians. Deco already tried to sign him, but it's impossible with Barcelona's current financial situation. Chelsea are close to signing him for 30 million euros. And this was reported by Sport actually 2 days ago. And so as this report says, he would prefer Barcelona over Chelsea, but that if a bigger financial offer came into his way, he would have to decide which team to go for. But guys, let me know your thoughts on Gabriel. What do you guys make of his game? If you guys haven't seen him, just go check out my Twitter. I have a compilation of his highlights. Make sure to go over there and check him out. But I think he's a good player to keep an eye on, And if Barcelona they do want to sign him, I would be definitely trying to basically reduce that cost because spending 20 million euros on an unproven player at the top level, I think it's a little bit of a risk. And Barcelona they don't have the financial the capacity to afford to take that risk. But now moving on, and we're gonna be talking about our current Barcelona players. We're gonna be talking about Frankie de Jong. This is reported by Roger Torrejo, a reliable Spanish journalist. Barcelona have started working to renew Frank de Jong for many years. The club want to repeat the Ter Stegen formula with him. That means a long-term contract with a lower salary per season to help with FFP. As of now, de Jong's entourage isn't in a rush because he has 3 more years on his contract. Now, Barcelona is looking to renew Ter Stegen. I mean, Frankie de Jong, which I think is a fantastic idea. I think so far this season, last season, Frankie de Jong has been absolutely phenomenal, and this season, I think he's been world class in that midfield. Absolutely one of the best midfielders in the world. And so we do want to renew him because he is a player that we do want to keep. And so it's a good idea to renew his contract and to extend the contract for many, many years. And have that longer base contract because we do have to remember he is on Bartomeu salary, and so he is one of the highest earners in the club, and we want to bring that down. And so hopefully we can start negotiations with Frankie de Jong and lower that salary, because it's all in it's in everyone's best interest, because Frankie de Jong, he does want to stay at Barcelona. We do have to keep in mind that Mateo Alemany was actually one of the players, well, no, one of the directors of the club, who was most in favor of his exit to Manchester United last season, but Frankie de Jong wanted to stay. And if you do want to stay, you're gonna need to make some sacrifices. But hopefully, Frankie de Jong does do that. But as I said, absolutely world class player, and we definitely want to keep him in the team. But now we're going to be talking about Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal has made history. At 16 years and 57 days, Lamine Yamal is now officially the youngest player to play for Spain's senior side. The future is here. He came on in the second half for Spain in their match against Georgia, and he scored. And then it's just unbelievable. And then when you look at La Masia and the players who have become Spain's youngest ever goal scorer, look at this. In 2020, Ansu Fati becomes Spain's youngest goal scorer ever. Last year, Gavi becomes Spain's youngest goal scorer ever. And then this year, Lamine Yamal becomes Spain's youngest goal scorer ever. And this is phenomenal news for Barcelona, because it's a good sign that La Masia is churning out talent. And you know what? If these players, they don't work out, we can always manage to sell them and basically earn a profit. And then so it's good that these players are getting out there and showing their level. Um, but just once again, it just shows that Lamine Yamal is such a young talent. But as I said before, we don't want to burn him out. He's still very young. We need to proceed which with caution, because we don't want to have a repeat of the Pedri situation or the Ansu Fati situation, where injuries can hamper that development. But now talking a little bit more on Spain's game against Georgia, um, Barcelona have been following three high potential La Liga players. One of them is Nico Williams. Now, Nico Williams was actually the one who gave the assist for Lamine Yamal, and he played in Spain's game, actually, and he put in a very good performance. And so, could Barcelona be targeting Nico Williams? He is a right winger who can play on the left as well, and he is the definition of a winger. High pace, loves the one-on-one. At times, some poor finishing, but he wants to go and be his man. But the only thing that I have a problem with this whole Nico Williams situation is his price tag, because Atletico Bilbao, they're looking to renew his contract, actually, and his price tag, his release clause is 90 million euros. And there's no way that Barcelona's going to be paying that amount of money for Nico Williams. And so if they do want to sign him, they would have to negotiate with Atletico Bilbao. No, Athletic Club. My apologies. In order to basically sign him. But guys, that was it for our Barcelona news roundup. What do you guys make of Gabriel Moscardo? Are you guys a fan of him? Well, would you guys like to see him potentially replace Romeo in that midfield, or to just basically come in and shadow him? Because Deco is building towards the future, and he is looking towards young, exciting talents to basically build for the future. Or if you guys don't like Moscardo, who else would you prefer, for example? Because yesterday I mentioned Fabricio Diaz, who is another good option, or even, for example, Jorginho, Diego Alcantara, Adrian Rabiot. There's lots of options that Barcelona have in that midfield. But also, what do you guys make of Frankie de Jong set to renew his contract with the club, basically tying him to the club for the next couple of years? And then lastly, guys, what do you guys make of Lamine Yamal becoming Spain's youngest ever goal scorer at the senior side? Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys all in the next video.